if you didn't know, this is the Morning Wood NFL Sunday here, brought to you by Rumpier Sports.
What up, boys? We're back with the Golf Wars Show, the preeminent golf show on the entire internet.
Huge weekend of baseball coming up. We haven't really had a final week like this in a while where there's so many teams that are still alive.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone! Unbelievable! A home run for Gibson. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby meet Freddie!
They might have the best pass rush in football.
They were adamant about not having a slow start.
How many times have they disappointed us? So I'm having a lot less of this game.
The game is over. The New York Jets are the world champions. Mahomes swings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot! Kansas City! The Chiefs are back-to-back Super Bowl champions!
We are picking winners with Rumpier Sports, the early Thursday edition, as we had to switch the days and time of the show, but hopefully you guys are joining us. I am here with JBC. I, of course, am Statsational. JBC, how are you this morning?
A lot better now that I'm going to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Yeah, we will be together again.
Yes.
As we go see a little UFC in New York City.
Yeah, big card.
And of course, you're more excited for the wrestling on
Yes. Monday
on
Night
Monday
Raw,
night.
John Cena.
Is that did we confirm that's at Barclays, right?
Yeah. The WWE only runs MSG for house shows.
It's I was going to say I wish it was at MSG because
Then we could just
wrestling back in when I was a kid going to wrestling at the Garden, there was no Barclays, and the Garden was the hub, man. But yeah, it'll be fun.
haven't been
don't
on the
watch
floor at
much
Barclays.
anymore, but Cena's last Raw, right?
Yeah. Cena's last Raw. We're on the floor. The last time we were at Barclays was what? UFC?
Was either UFC or we did
When Cejudo fought Dillashaw for the title when he at 125 when
Yeah,
Dillashaw
that's right.
tried to come down.
we also did a SummerSlam
SummerSlam.
at Barclays.
Yeah. Barclays is fun. But I haven't been on the floor, so
I've been on the floor for concerts. We'll see. Being on the floor for for wrestling will be interesting.
I mean wrestling's basically a concert.
Yeah. It's not the same. It's definitely not the same audience as when I was a kid going to Madison Square Garden in the early '80s. Watching wrestling was it was a different type of clientele. That is for sure. Yeah, it's unique. I was just actually looking at the pictures from then. Remember, we were at the bar, which was packed ahead of time before the event, and I'm like, it's basically cosplay. Like, I mean, people are there in wrestling costumes and like
Every single person was in an outfit other than us.
yeah. I mean, I've got the picture of the guy like with the belt, like coming down the stairs, the championship belt, and the whole place going crazy. I'm like, man, oh man, yeah, this is definitely odd, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll have a good time.
Yeah.
So we had to get the show going on a little early as we'll both be traveling tomorrow. Hopefully, we're going to be traveling.
My flight already got moved back 6 hours.
So hopefully we'll get there before you. Last week, man, NFL was a little bit of chaos there. If you're in a survivor pool and you're still alive, you loved it last week. Most people did not, or probably about 50% of the people did not. We were able to survive. I think part of it was kind of luck of the draw because Buffalo was a good pick, right? So Buffalo was the pick you wanted. If you lost with Buffalo, I think you just got to kind of chalk it up to bad luck. I got lucky in a pool I'm in with that a buddy of mine runs. I didn't have Buffalo as an option. I had Denver and Seattle. So sometimes
we didn't have
them either, right? We didn't,
Buffalo.
DraftKings, we didn't have the opportunity to take Buffalo. Otherwise, we would have and gotten knocked out, at least with that entry. So sometimes you get lucky. You know, I was talking to my brother. He had the opposite. The only team he could have taken was Buffalo.
Yeah.
And he kind of planned it that way. And, you know, you get stuck. I think the lesson from last week was really Carolina. We talked about it on Friday. And sometimes the math lines up with what happens in real life. Doesn't always work that way. But, man, 30% of pools on Carolina,
Stupid.
when you had so many other teams with a higher win percentage, you didn't necessarily even need to take, you know, if you were going to go on the slop, and we said this, you texted me, I think when we got the percentages of who picked who, and I said, if you were going to just mess around in the slop, you might as well have taken the Bears where nobody was taking, or very few people at least get that advantage. I mean, they should have lost also, but at least do that. Why? I just didn't get all the people. It was like we talked about it Friday. Like all of a sudden, the team that everyone was picking against popped up as a team that people wanted, and those are the opportunities you got to take advantage of in Survivor. We don't have it this week. Now we've got the opposite.
And I will say, you know,
big favorite this week.
Our friend Alex Deutsch, the Survivor guru, he literally when the Circa, like Grandissimo or whichever one, when the percentages came out, he was like, all these idiots that pick Carolina, their $10,500 worth of equity is now worth $8,000 just by picking Carolina. And I said that in the chat. I was like you are actively shooting yourself. Even if Carolina wins, you're shooting yourself in the foot. There is so much leverage to not taking them. And then they just got their fucking ass beat.
Yeah, well, they basically took the run. I mean, all they could really do is run the ball. They played defense really well, Carolina. We were talking about it Tuesday. I do the show with Wiley, how good they've been against wide receivers in DFS. They've been very good. But yeah, I mean, that was, people love to. I don't know if people just thought they were being smart and like, oh, I'm going to take the team that no one's taken. Didn't realize so many people were going to be on them. But I mean, there's so many.
They were thinking, oh, this is the only opportunity to take Carolina.
It definitely was the only opportunity to take Carolina. But it was, like I said, if you were going to go, if that was your logic, it was probably the only opportunity to really take the Bears also. So yeah. I'd rather give up the point in on the point spread and whatever it was, just a few percentage points in win probability, and get on the team that nobody had, as opposed to taking a team like Carolina. But then you look at it, it's going to happen. It's happening tonight. The biggest game of the week for Survivors.
But I have the opposite opinion.
Totally different opinion. Well, I look at it like this. So if you, I mean, just without trying to do real like advanced, I'm not smart enough to like figure out the exact EVs. But if you just figure, if you've got a team that's got, let's say tonight they've got a 12% chance to lose the game. They're like an 88% chance to win in tonight's game. If you're 12% chance to lose, and 50% of your pool takes them, right? That's an expected 6% losses. You looked at Carolina, they were a 30% chance to lose last week with 30% of the pool taking them. That's an expected 9%. Like, just there should tell you, like, this is a better play, New England, than Carolina was last week.
And furthermore, like, I don't have Green Bay. I don't have Houston. I don't have Baltimore. I don't have Buffalo. Like, there's really no choice here. Like, it's just all new. It's all New England. There's no choice. There's not even, I didn't even remotely think about it.
Yeah, in that pool is really there's no other options. The pool I'm in has double picks starting. We've got week 13, 15, and 16, I believe, double picks.
You get to play Thanksgiving?
No, but it's just double pick weeks. We had a double pick week back in week 4. And I believe it was week 4. I used all Houston's. At that time, I had like 24 picks left at that time. Used all Houston, so I'm done with Houston. I can't take them. So
not
in
that
that
I want
pool,
Davis Mills on the road anyway.
Yeah, I'm not all that excited about taking Houston anyway this week, but I've got to look at least the week 13 without getting into my pool too specifically. I may have to just take a shot on one of those entries with Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh this week is going to be better than anyone else I could take in a double pick in week 13. So we'll see. But I've got 2 picks there. One of them will definitely be on New England. But yeah, we might as well jump into the game here tonight as we're talking about it. Jets are on a little bit of a roll. Jets looking to go 10-7 on the season.
Double special teams touchdown.
I mean, so they scored, I believe they got sub 60 yards passing and won the game.
I
You
mean,
texted me at one point and said you texted me and said there's a possibility the Jets score more points than yards gained.
yeah, that like at one point that was like on the table.
They literally had like a 10-yard play like right after that, and I was like I think Fields ran for like 10. I go, oh, there goes that. But yes, that was on the table.
I mean, crazy, and you're expecting it. I mean, I bet heavily on Cleveland. I bet heavily on the under. So I got fucked by it. But like, in a game with a close to pick 'em spread and a 37 total, you gift them 14 off the bat. Like you're fucked.
Yeah, it was just unusual scores. That one, it wasn't so much the Jet offense, but I think the other game with great defenses that I like the under in that Cleveland game as well. The Houston game was interesting. Houston decides to give up more points than they've given up all year and win.
That was insane.
Houston,
and Jacksonville, and then Jacksonville didn't even push the +1 because of the fumble return.
Yes, exactly. I was laughing at that one.
Like that was one of those things where I'm just watching. I'm like, all right, fuck it. The other game that was like, it was the Rams at Philly, where we got fucked on the.
Oh, that was brutal. How did that end? I know that. I think you said that was the worst beat you've ever had. Oh,
it was like the Rams were winning the whole game by like double digits, and then it was like Philly scored like 3 times back to back to get the lead by like 1, and I still had like live bets with the Rams at like +5.5, +3.5 pregame, and then he gets sacked, fumbled for a touchdown at the end, and fucking Jordan Davis, 400-pound ass, running 80 yards.
Brutal.
No, it was a blocked field goal. Sorry.
It was a block. Yeah, I thought it was a block.
Blocked field goal.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in my head, the Rams are about to win because it's like a 40-yard field goal. And he gets fucking.
You ever lose on an onside kick return for a touchdown?
Yes. College. That happens in college.
It happened in college to me. It happened in the NFL. I want to say an Arizona-Dallas game about 20. Aikman was still playing.
Yeah. There was definitely a Jaguars, I think it was like a week 17, 18 situation where they were onside kicking and they had to. So it was an important game last week of the season. So I'm thinking in my head it was a playoff game, but it wasn't. It was basically a playoff game for the Jaguars. And they kicked it on. They missed the they complete a Hail Mary to go down by 1. They missed the extra point to tie it when the season's on the line. Then the onside kick gets fucking returned for a touchdown.
That's as good as it gets.
That was the sequence of events. Hail Mary, missed extra point, onside kick for touchdown.
Yeah, sports betting's fun.
That was great. But
it's essentially, you look at these games. I always look at them like a bunch of numbers running around on the field, which kind of takes away from the excitement of the game. But it's the same scenarios that happen to you in poker. You're like, it's the one outer, and it's like I've got this, and he's got to hit a 4 diamonds, and there it is, boom, the 4 diamonds, right? I mean, that's it. So, but all right, we got tonight's game here, and as you said, this line is moving. Yeah, well, you gave out before we even get into that. You had a good tweet on the MVP. What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, Drake May at +275. I don't hate it. I think it's warranted, but I don't think there's a lot of value you can extract there playing a +275 that's not going to pay out for 3 months, 4 months, however fucking long. The Sam Darnold at 10-1. I think you're getting a ton of value because so much of the field is locked up in Mahomes and Allen at 5-1 and 7-1, and I think they're both drawing dead. And so I would I think you're getting a gift on Darnold. Darnold should be down like near 3-1, 4-1 because if Seattle gets the number 1 seed, it's between him and Drake May.
Yeah, I agree.
All Seattle has to do is win this weekend.
It would take either Kansas City or Buffalo's going to have to run the table basically.
And even then, if Buffalo runs the table, they're not getting ahead of New England.
And they won't get the 1 seed, which is going to be really tough. So I don't think neither of those teams are going to get a 1 seed. And it's tough for a Mahomes or an Allen to not be the 1 seed and still win the MVP. Like I just wouldn't see that happening. Who has a better shot at doing it is Lamar.
Yeah, if Lamar just wipes it, yeah. But
because then it's like we got to see that team without him. I would put more. I would value him higher here than I would Mahomes or Allen.
I touched on Jonathan Taylor. 6-1 is just tough for a running back because 1, the team has to win. 2, he's got to just go fucking berserk. 3, he can't get hurt, and he's much more likely to get hurt than any of these quarterbacks. So as much as I think it definitely it could happen, 6-1 is a little steep, or it's too short for me with the injury risk.
Yeah, and they don't typically give him out to the running backs. He's having,
he's crazy.
He's having monsters. He's having an MVP caliber season.
If you look at offensive player of the year, he's already minus 350. That's basically unless Smith and Jigba breaks records or something, if he breaks the receiving record, then maybe he loses offensive player of the year, but I doubt it.
And his records are a little ridiculous now that we have an added game. It's like,
yeah.
So I kind of hate when they talk about that. I guess just like in the old days when I was watching, everyone's like, well, I remember when it was 14 games.
Well, I mean, Barkley didn't even play the last game last year, and he got to 2,000.
Yes. Yeah, but no, listen, it's impressive, but the old 1,000-yard rushing season doesn't quite mean what it used to mean. There's going to be a lot of crappy backs get 1,000 yards. Lamar. If Lamar runs the table, don't tell me he's got zero chance.
Yeah, the odds are only 25-1. It's not that crazy.
I would much rather. So here's the thing with betting: would you rather take Lamar 25-1, or would you rather take a Mahomes at whatever he is plus?
Oh, I would much rather take Lamar than Mahomes right now. Tony, me and Tony are not playing 1-on-1. We can play fucking horse, but you're too much taller than me. That's not. Tony would just body me in the paint.
He lost a lot of weight though.
Yeah,
I think you might have a weight advantage on Tony.
Tony lost a lot of weight.
Last time I saw him, he looked good. He was slimmed down.
Yeah, no. I mean, maybe dig my elbow into his back a little bit. He's older than me. I could,
Yeah, let's not talk about backs. I'm dealing with
they can tweak something.
Yeah, I'm dealing with a bulging disc right now in my L5S1. All right, let's get into tonight's game. We've got Jets at the Pats. Talked about it. 12.5, 13. It's 12.5 still over at DraftKings minus 115 if you want the Pats. 43.5 minus 108 to the over. What are you thinking here?
The Jets last week obviously was heavily fluky, and they didn't really do much of anything. New England has looked amazing. Drake May has been incredible. I don't really see the Jets winning this game. I think New England could start Joshua Dobbs and still beat him by 14. So I like New England and the under. I think they just pistol whip them.
I'm not laying the points. So I'll take the Jets here plus the points. I think it's a little inflated here at the 12.5. I like the game over. So we're going to start on the opposite sides here. I don't think the Patriots lose this game, but 12.5. Look, I could easily be wrong. They run away with it, and May makes a statement here. We're talking about MVP. He has looked good, but I think the turnovers will be the difference. We get some turnovers. We get some maybe a couple of sacks in this game, but I think the game goes over. I don't think I'm going to lose both. So I think at the worst I split. This is my mentality when I was a kid betting the Monday night game, sitting in class when I was down money on a Sunday, going, I'll bet both sides. I'll bet the total and the side because there's no way I'm going to lose both of these. So this is my mentality going into this one. Obviously, I can lose both, but I like the Jets plus the points, and I'll take the over. We've got where's this game? Where's the? You look good, T. Don't tell me that. Where's this one this week? Miami and Washington.
Fuck. Madrid. I think it's Madrid.
Is it?
Or Barcelona?
Let's look it up. I don't even. I just know it's a European game. They're playing in. You wish it would just. The old Google thing just doesn't come up. Oh, it's in Estadio Santiago
Bernabeu in
venue.
Madrid.
What venue? Who's home?
Real
home
Madrid. Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. Yeah, it's in Madrid. Okay. So they're in Madrid for this one. I'm sure someone said it already on the. Yeah, a million people said it, of course, in the chat. But yeah, so we've got a neutral site game here. Dolphins. I mean, this Dolphin team is like.
Did you see the picture of Mike McDaniel driving by the Bills bar in Miami to taunt them after they won?
That was great, just trolling them. I live right by a Bills bar too, so.
And then he claimed it was AI.
That was pretty fun. That was very McDaniel thing to do. We've got. Is this it? Are we done with these European games?
I don't fucking know. I hate them.
It's brutal. 9:30 a.m. East Coast time. The Dolphins are 2.5-point favorites. 47.5 is the total. You got to lay 115 to get that number under the 3 over on DraftKings. But Miami, man. I mean, they pretty much. I mean, it was a little bit of a wacky game last week.
Yeah.
I mean, did they dominate the game?
Fucking
Yes.
up in the red zone.
They kept. I mean, then you get like when you fumble on a 10-yard quarterback sneak, it's like, okay.
You know, he threw for 300 yards, Josh Allen.
Yeah. It was just it was the most unusual game that a team was never in that would.
It reminded me of Atlanta and Carolina.
Yes. Yeah. It was similar to that game. So, but Miami's done this a couple of times, and this Washington team is obviously broken.
They suck, bro.
What's that?
They fucking suck.
Listen, you said they would suck before the season started. They obviously suck. I
said it every single
quarterback now.
They suck.
So what are we looking at here? 2.5, 47.5. Not expecting a lot of defense.
Yeah, Miami, I think will put up points. I don't think they'll have any problem with that. But Miami's defense kind of sucks, despite what happened last week. So I mean, 47.5. I think it's one of those things where it's around the 48. I think I prefer over at 47.5, and I wouldn't take it if it got to 48.5. So I do like over in Miami, obviously. Fuck Washington.
Yeah, well, I mean, you basically nailed what my number is. I've got the total at 48 on my numbers. So I mean, I got a slight lean here to the over. I think the line is fairly accurate. Maybe I give a little bit of an edge here to the Dolphins, but I don't necessarily love the game. I would give a slight lean over. Really, the question of just how much.
Is this the first matchup in NFL history where both quarterbacks are Hawaiian?
Oh, that's a good question.
I just had that
thought. I haven't been all that many Hawaiian quarterbacks.
Right. I'll have to ask Akaika.
Have they played each other?
I don't know.
They may have played. It might.
The Mariota tight end, maybe.
Tennessee, maybe. That's a good question. Yeah, so I guess there's that angle, but yeah, I'm not all that excited about the game. Yeah, I would put a slight lean here on Miami and the over, but it doesn't sound like you really love this one either.
I mean, I like Miami.
Oh, so you like a little.
I like Miami a lot because Washington sucks.
Yeah, I think they will put. They'll probably put some points up here, but not enough for me to put any money on it. Don't feel that confident. All right, let's get to the 1:00 main slate games. The Jags hosting the Chargers. Jacksonville is going to be a home dog here. I think Chargers have gone east. I think off the top of my head, this is like the third time they're on the East Coast as a favorite. I think this year, right? Didn't they go?
Yeah, Pittsburgh, right? And then the Giants.
Did they play Washington? I just feel like they've been a favorite on the road a few times. I feel like Carolina was one of those games, but
no, the Titans.
Oh, Tennessee, it was. That's it. Yeah, I get those two crap franchises confused all the time. But Jacksonville's going to be getting 3 here at home. You know, there was a moment in time where we thought, you know, when Jacksonville beat Kansas City, like, oh, this is it. This is the team. And then they lose a game that they just should not ever in a million years lose last week. 43.5 is the total, minus 115. If you want the 3 points at DraftKings, you're going to have to pay some juice there, minus 118 on the juice. What do you think on this one with the Chargers and Jacksonville?
I got belief in the Chargers defense. They've been playing well. You know, I especially against like a little bit better competition. They tend to play better in those games. But, after what happened with Jacksonville last week, what is their defense doing in the fourth quarter there? Like what? That had to be just backbreaking for them. I think this spread should be over more than 3. I like the Chargers. I don't like the total as much, but I lean to the under just because I think the best unit on the field of the 4 is the Chargers defense. So Chargers in the under.
I'm going the opposite. Both sides here. I'm going to take the Jags here. I've got this line. I made the line at Chargers -1. So I like this getting the 3. I think we got a bit of value here. I've got the total also 45.5. So I think we got a couple of points of value to the over.
Are you factoring in that Trevor Lawrence might have a sub 60 IQ?
It's factored in. It's in the numbers. Yeah. He doesn't look like he's the brightest bulb on the field. He's a pretty man though.
Very pretty.
Yeah. But maybe not playing with a full deck, or go back to some of my old Gorilla Monsoon. What was some of a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic. The old Gorilla Monsoon-isms. But I'm gonna go the opposite way here at Jacksonville at home. I don't know. The Chargers they kind of it seems like it's a broken record. It's like every team in the league. No one's really put their foot down except for maybe Seattle and the Rams at this point and said, hey, this is what we are. We're that good. Even the bad teams are surprising you to the other side. The Jets go and win a couple of games and things like that. So it's like we can't. It's hard to get a real good feel here. The Chargers I just don't see the Chargers warranting being a road favorite. I had them. They should be a 1-point favorite. I just think 3 is a little too much here. So I'm going to take the points. All right, we'll go to stay in that AFC South. Great division. Houston is at Tennessee. We've got 6.5 points for the home Titans. They're going to get -110, 37.5. Nice low total here, -110 there as well over on DraftKings. What do you think with this Titan team against Houston, who, we've liked Houston and we wanted to get off them last week because we just didn't trust Mills. But I think this Houston offense, we've been saying it's probably better than they've actually shown most of the year. We were hoping that Stroud would be in there to kind of prove that. But do we have confidence in Mills here against the Titans?
No. If you recall, when they played the first time, this was basically the same spread in Houston with Stroud. And now it's the same spread on the road with Mills. That's just there's no chance in hell I'm taking Houston in that situation. I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game. I think it's going to be sloppy. But with Tennessee coming off the bye and everything, I'll take the Titans and the under.
That game was a lot closer than the final score, at least because I know watching that game closely for Survivor purposes. I think that was actually the week.
Nothing, right?
I took all Houston's. That was the week I took all the Houston's against the Tennessee. That was 6-0 at the half, I think.
Right.
And then it just kind of got a little out of hand late. They just couldn't score. I think that'll be the problem here for Tennessee again, is how are they going to put points up on this Houston defense? I know Jacksonville was able to do it last week, but they've pretty much been the only one. No one's really been able to solve the Houston defense at all. I think the under is really the play, even at the 37.5. I liked all those low total unders last week. And isn't that the T thing? Is Big T still with it? Isn't that Big T loves taking the unders on these?
He thinks the shit bowls are going to be even shittier than shit expected.
Yeah, I think I've heard him say that. So I had them all last week, or a couple of them. I had 2 of those low totals to the under, and I'm going to take it again here this week with Houston and Tennessee. I've got the number at 36, and we're getting 37.5. So I do like this one to the under. All right, let's head to the Giants in the Meadowlands over in East Rutherford. We've got +7. The Packers are coming into town. The total is 42.5. Giants getting 7 points, -115. -115 if you like the over 42.5 in this one. What do you think here with the Giants and the Green Bay Packers?
Green Bay's offense is just they're terrible. I don't understand how Jordan Love is regressed this hard. He looks like shit. And I the Giants maybe a little invigorated firing the coach and switching to Jameis Winston, who the players everybody loves Jameis Winston. So they'll probably be a little fired up compared to normal. This is one of those situations you always talk about where, it tends to be correlated. I think this is a very low scoring game. So despite Jameis Winston's, gunslinger mentality. So I'll take the 7 with New York and under.
Well, that's the correlation there. If you like that. Yeah. So if you like the Giants, take it to the under. I'll go against the correlation. I like the Giants too. I don't mind Jameis Winston playing. I mean, certainly better than a Russell Wilson. I think it's a little different ballgame. I think Winston will be fine. But when you get Winston in, you get points for both teams.
Yeah.
So Green Bay defense pretty good. I wouldn't be shocked here if Winston gives up one to the opposing team as well. So I like this game to go over. I've got the total at 45 myself, and that's really without factoring in Winston. I don't think he hurts this total by 2.5 points where the market is now. If anything, I think it's a flat. He's flat to the total, and there's potential he's even better. So I like this game to go over. I agree with you though. This Green Bay team hasn't been blowing anyone out. I just
offense just I don't understand what's going on.
LaFleur, and then I think that Kraft injury as well. Not that they were really lighting the scoreboard up without Kraft, but that Kraft injury has really hurt them. He was their main, really kind of go-to option. They're not doing much well.
And now Dobbs is hurt.
Who's that?
Dobbs.
Yeah, Dobbs is hurt. The
mega helmet, no mega helmet.
It's just the Giants are so bad defensively. And I think, like I said, Winston is, he's probably good for 2 turnovers in this game. So I think maybe short field, maybe a pick 6. I think this game gets to the over. I actually feel better about the Giants, though. I like the Giants plus the 7 than I do the over, but I do like both sides of this one. So, give me Giants over.
I don't see the Packers being able to throw the ball at all with the pass rush that New York has.
That's true. I mean, they have the good pass rush there. It'll be interesting. I didn't look at any of the weather. Yeah, we probably should have looked at some of the weather if there's going to be any bad weather up there. Well, I did look at the New York weather because we're going to be up there. And
we could look up at the sky.
Yeah, there's no bad weather in New York that I know. So we should be good there. All right, let's head over to a game we don't really have to worry about the weather. Atlanta hosting the Panthers, -3.5. The home Falcons are the favorite, -108. Over 42.5, -108 there as well over at DraftKings. What do you think here? Carolina, I mean, up and down. They are survivor picks either for or against. Not this week, though. Kind of a neutral game. What do you think here with Carolina?
I think that the line is right around where it should be if Atlanta was not returning from Germany. So to me, that puts a point in Carolina's column, and so I like Carolina.
What do you think about the total?
Probably pretty low scoring. Atlanta's defense is strong. Carolina's offenses look terrible. Penix has looked like shit. So under.
Yeah, I think that's the stronger side here. This is one of my favorite games to the under. I agree with you especially coming off a travel game. I think maybe adds a little bit to the under as well. I would have put this at 37.5 on the total. This Carolina defense is not bad. I think did we talk about it earlier in the show? We talked about it.
Derek Brown, I mean, we're good. It just, the offense is just completely, if we can't run the ball, we can't do anything.
Well, that's it. And they want to obviously establish the run. That's what they couldn't do last week. I think the Saints just basically said, we'll take the run away from you. Go ahead and try to throw it. He's just not looked good throwing the ball. I expect the Falcons to try to come in with the same type of game plan, try to stop the run, let Bryce Young beat you. I don't know if he can. So I feel pretty good about the under in this game. I would lean maybe a little bit on the Falcons, but I think the under is the play here. I think a lot of value on that side of this game. All right, this is a rematch of one of the better games this year. That Thursday night game with Pittsburgh and Cincinnati was exciting. We've got, I think, what might be the highest total on the main slate of games, the Sunday games. 49.5 on the total. Pittsburgh's favored by 5.5 minus 112. 49.5 over is minus 110 over on DraftKings. What do you think here? Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. That was the game. That was Flacco's first game with Cincinnati, and they pulled off that upset
23
win.
targets for Jamar Chase.
23 targets it was, right? Yeah. I don't know if he's going to get 23, but he should be a huge factor in this game. The Pittsburgh defense is not all that great against wide receivers, and the Cincinnati defense is not good against just about everything. So should be an interesting game for DFS purposes. There's going to be a lot of interest there. What do you think as far as betting purposes? What do you like?
The total seems high. Like 40. I understand the first game was crazy back and forth, and I think that's made the total inflate a little bit. I think 49.5 is too high. I like this game to go under. I think that should be closer to 48. But as far as the side, I mean, I don't see a logical reason why Pittsburgh should be favored by this much again against them. Cincinnati has seemed pretty competent coming off the bye. Now, Cincinnati and under.
See, I'm going to disagree with you on both again. Give me the. I'll take that kind of return matchup. Favorite gets upset. Comes back here, covers the 5.5 at home. I thought the line, the total was a little low. So maybe I'm wrong. Which way has that line moved? Has it come down?
Down. It opened at 50.5, I think.
Yeah, I think it's actually scaring me. The number is scaring me compared to where I would have put this up in at closer to 54, which is well over this number. So it actually scares me that this number
40 or two geriatrics chucking the ball up and down the field.
Well, you don't have to, as long as they don't get a pass rush. Look, that was the night we said it was a good night for 40-year-olds, right? That was the night Scherzer had a good game and the two quarterbacks were lining it up. It does make me a little nervous because that game was so high scoring, and then they come out. I think the total is lower than what I expected it to be. So that does give me a little bit of pause. But by the numbers here, the value for me is to the over, and I do think Pittsburgh I think Pittsburgh takes care of business, dominates this game against the weak.
I'm looking at the weather. 20% chance of rain, wind 16 to 20, about 45 degrees.
I looked at that weather earlier this week for that reason. Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. Yeah. Oh, if it's gusting up to that's probably what's
it's gusting.
That's going to change things. Yeah. So if you're going to see, we'll see as we get closer.
That's one of those things you need to wait and see.
Because wind changes everything. I mean,
that stadium's right there by the water.
It is, yeah. Wind changes everything. If it's windy and gusty, then yes, all bets are off on the. You'll see it in the total. That could be why the total's coming down too, just in anticipation of that wind. Mm-hmm. But for sure, yeah, I don't want to take any overs in the wind in that stadium. All right, Minnesota hosting the Bears, -2.5, -122. The Vikings are a home fave. Over 48.5, -110 for this total. What do you think here with the Vikings and the Bears?
Points. I think it goes over. I like Minnesota, but not nearly as much as I like the over. I think this game is going to be up and down.
I think they nailed the line, the total 48.5. I think it's right there. Look, I mean, Cal's been playing better.
Yeah.
Starting to look like the guy now. So you got to like that if you're a Bears fan. I was talking, my brother's a Bears fan. I'm like, I was actually talking to you about, I was doing some analysis. I mentioned it to Wiley, kind of looking at the quarterback burdens. When you have whatever the threshold is, I was looking at like 15% of your team salary to 20% or more. If it's on the quarterback and how big of a burden that is to the team. So my brother's a Bears fan. I'm like, man, once you get if this is the guy, now you've got the win. That's it. You've got the win. I don't think they were going to win it all this year, but now you can start to spend at some other positions. And, he noted that obviously they've got some of their best defensive backs are out. And that's really what's hurting their defense. If they get the team back, maybe next year could be a year we see the Bears make a run, but I don't know. I like the Vikings a little bit in this one. I think the line should have been on the other side of the 3 for the Vikings, maybe 3.5. I think it's a little light. So I think
it opened 2.5 and immediately ticked to 3. So
yeah, I like this. I like it. I would have liked it, or I would have put it at 3.5. So I like the Vikings just a bit, and I think the total for me is it's kind of right on the number. So I'm going to lay off on the total. I think we get a little value across that 3. So I do like the Vikings. All right, Buffalo hosting the Bucks here. We get another one of those lines right in that kind of no man's land, -5.5, -6 for Buffalo at home, over 47.5. Both of those are -108. You can get 5.5 at a lot of the other books if you like the Bills. What do you think with Buffalo? We've got coming off just what was probably their, just an awful loss. We didn't think that the New England loss was bad for them, but now we're realizing, well, this New England team is probably better than they are.
Yeah.
But that Miami team is not better than Buffalo. So how do they bounce back off that loss last week?
I just want to thank you, Pikachu, for the very kind words. I think we're getting a deflated number on Buffalo coming off of that horrible loss last week. So I mean, to me, this is a 7. It should be 7. So if I get it at 5.5, I think that's a gift. I like Buffalo. 48 seems like a bit much up there in the cold as shit up there in Buffalo. So I do like under 48 to go along with the Buffalo side.
Yeah, we're going to have to look at this game as well because we could get rain in that game potentially. It will be cold. It's tough. Teams historically coming from down in the dome teams and the warm weather teams going up into the cold weather don't typically do well. So I think you do have to kind of factor that into the number. And when I do, that gets me right about to where this number is. I just don't have any confidence in this Bills team. I just don't, I watch the Bills and it's Josh Allen and nothing and Cook, right? So you got a good running back there, but man, if he's not making plays, he's running for his life on so many of these plays. I just don't have confidence in this Bills team. I think we're paying a little bit for the name and not necessarily what I've seen on the field. So, I mean, if I had to give a little bit of an edge here, I would take the points, but I just typically don't like to bet those warm weather teams coming up north if the game is going to be super cold, which I think has a high possibility of that being the case. Again, I like the over as well if this one wasn't going to be in cold, nasty weather. So if the weather changes, I like this one to the over. If not, I'm just going to kind of stay away from this game. So we'll head to the 4:00 window. We got Arizona, home dog, +3. They are facing the divisional rival, San Francisco 49ers. 48.5 is the over, -108 at DraftKings. +3 is -115 at DraftKings as well. Arizona here, they got they came off that Monday night win, going to Seattle. Not an easy place to play, typically, and a team that may be playing as well, if not better than anybody, and they just got their just wheels blown off in that first half.
They made me a bunch of money in DFS.
Yeah, they were never in that game at all. And then the 49ers, who they've kind of just been able to kind of hold it together and keep themselves in the race here, despite all the injuries. That's been a really good division all year, and this is kind of a big game for both of these teams to see if either one can make the playoffs. I think both, certainly even Arizona still has aspirations to get there, and who knows with the way this league has gone this year. But I think winning this game is certainly going to go a long way for them. I think losing this game may totally diminish all hope that they have. So what do you think? +3, you like the home dog in Arizona, or we're going to take the 49ers?
I like San Francisco. I don't think that Arizona is going to be able to stop them. Mac Jones looked pretty, it wasn't amazing, but he looked pretty good last week, despite what was occurring on the other side of the ball. He put up 25, 30 fantasy points, whatever it was. So I do believe in San Francisco's ability to score here in McCaffrey against the Cardinals' shitty-ass defense. So I like San Francisco, and I also think that Arizona should be able to put up a little fight of their own on offense. So I think it goes over, but I feel more strongly about the 49ers.
I mean, they have looked better offensively Brissett in there for sure. Yeah. And it's a awoken McBride. McBride is all of a sudden a touchdown guy.
Two moms, McBride, my goat.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy who just couldn't. He got a ton of volume, but just couldn't get in the end zone. Is now scoring week in, week out. So that's been good for him DFS wise. I still think I think this game is it's tight. I would say I've got it with all the injuries. It was hard to kind of adjust the numbers to this one. So without the adjustment, this game was slightly to the under. I would put this one really kind of where they have it now on the total 47.5 to that 48.5. I don't have a strong opinion. I would have been slightly under just by the numbers, but I do think we have to make some adjustments here with some of the changes on both sides of this game. I think the 3 is pretty close as well. I would take San Francisco if I had to. I think they still are the better team, better coach, and I think that offense they're starting. Like even with Mac Jones, I don't think it's that big of a drop off there. You know, the thing now that we're talking about San Francisco, I brought it up with Wiley on the show. What do you think about the fact that these coaches who are good with the quarterbacks may have a lot to do with some of the resurgence of these quarterbacks. The 2 guys who were in San Francisco, Sam Darnold. Did Sam Darnold go there, and did that change Sam Darnold's entire career, just being able to work with Shanahan? And you had
and O'Connell.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like you had Mayfield go to work with Sean McVay. Maybe that helped him out as well. I don't know. Now they were both in Carolina. I don't know if that
I was gonna say that.
I don't know if that stint helped them at all, but
Steve Wilkes helping him out.
But it's interesting because now Mac Jones is gonna go make some money now.
Yeah, he'll start for somebody next year,
and deservedly so. I think he's proved he could at least be a starting quarterback in this league. So I just wonder if the coaching, the NFL, not just the coaching, it's just at every position, literally every position. I think outside of maybe if you're just a dominant pass rusher, you could kind of play in any system, right? But man, if you don't get in the right system in the NFL, even a good player, it can be a detriment. And if you get yourself in the right system, it can make maybe an above average player a great player. So I think the NFL is unique in that in that sense. Certainly in the NBA, if they're not utilizing you and not getting you the ball, but at some point your skills kind of take over, and baseball is a one-on-one sport. I think there's nothing like the NFL.
LeBron made the finals with like the most bum motherfuckers. Like if you look at some of those Cleveland teams, they're so bad.
But that's the NBA. If you have the best player, certainly, and when that best player is head and shoulders above the rest, they're going to be able to carry. There's only 5 guys on the court. You're going to be able to carry guys. It's hard to do in the NFL, but the quarterback obviously has the most leverage on the field. But I don't know. I just think sometimes getting drafted by the right team. I don't know if Bryce Young, like you look at Bryce Young, you're like, oh, he's terrible. Maybe he's just not in the right situation there. I don't know. We found out Justin Fields though. We found out Justin Fields it's him. It's not I think he's been to enough places. But and I like Justin Fields.
Last week was the first interception he's thrown all year.
I know he hasn't thrown any picks, which is also a problem.
It goes back to my favorite statistic of all time, which is the only quarterback in the history of the NFL with 50 starts who has not thrown a pick six is Mitch Trubisky.
Again, though, it's partially a problem because you want quarterbacks to. It's a risk reward, right? There's certain situations you've got to fit it in there, and Fields has a cannon for an arm. That's one thing he could do better than a lot of these guys, but you've got to be willing to throw interceptions sometimes in some spots. And
he takes too many sacks, way too many.
And that's part of the problem, right? So you play too conservatively and it's bad. So, the knock on him is always that he really doesn't read the defense as well. But that's hard for us to really see on TV, but you do have to take risk as a quarterback in certain spots. So a quarterback who never throws interceptions and is not winning there's probably a problem with that. There's probably a reason for that. And it's a negative, but
Jameis Winston does not have that problem.
No, Jameis is great. Like I said it, look, when he was in Tampa, I'm like, man, Tom Brady knows what he's doing, because that team was a quarterback who can not turn the ball over in the red zone away from winning a Super Bowl. And
Yeah, he led the league in passing that the year before.
yeah, he was. I had it in my rank. They were so highly ranked in the rankings and not making the playoffs because he would just throw so many.
He
It was
threw 30
key
picks. He threw 30 picks.
because he doesn't care. Like he's just trying to throw a touch. He's trying to fit it in at all times.
Dude, when you relate it back to him being a pitcher in baseball, it makes more sense. He just wants to fucking throw it as hard as he can.
Exactly. He's as a Met fan, he was the Noah Syndergaard of pitch. It's like didn't know how to pitch, but he could throw the ball 100 miles an hour, and then decided
Winston, that's what he did in baseball.
exactly. Yeah, Syndergaard was great. Like, yeah, you throw it 100 when not everyone in the league was throwing it 100, and you decide in the offseason to put on 20 pounds of muscle as a pitcher so you could throw the ball harder. It's like the dumbest. And Tom House said he'll be out with an injury by June, and I think he was pretty much within a few weeks of that being true. So yeah, there's a lot of idiots in sports, but Jameis I love, man. He's fun to watch.
Dude, they had the clip of him today when he found out he was starting. He started singing Hamilton.
He's out
about New York being the greatest city in the world or whatever the fuck.
He's out of his mind. All right, let's continue on here. We got the Rams hosting the Seahawks. This is the game. I mean, this is just the game of the week. Huge implications here, obviously. Probably the one seed on the line. That division, of course, on the line. But I think maybe the winner of that division is going to get the one seed. So the Rams get them at home here, -3, 48.5 on the over. It's only -105 if you want to lay the 3 on DraftKings with the Rams. What do you think in this big one?
You know, I tend to think the Rams are better than the Seahawks. I mean, I know the Seahawks have just been killing it, but I still got to believe in Stafford here. I think this is going to be a high scoring game. I think they'll both be able to score. I think Darnold plays well, but I think at the end of the day, I'll take Stafford over Darnold. So I like the Rams and the over.
Yeah, this one's close. I would put it right at 3. I think they nailed the line here. You like the over?
Yeah.
I think this one's. I hate to bail out on like the best game of the day, but man, they nailed the line at 3. This Seattle team is. I mean, they're good. This is a good team. This is a good team defensively. Obviously, Darnold's playing well. You got a matchup of the 2 best wide receivers, I think, in the game right now. Obviously
Mike McDonald,
Chase, and Jefferson obviously are in that discussion, but just from the numbers this year, when they're in there, Puka and JSN have been phenomenal. That turned out to be a good deal. No, with Adams, they were like, listen, Kupp's on the way out, injury prone, and he's over on the other sideline. But they've got plenty of they got plenty of options though. And then they made that trade for even more wide receiver help last week with Shaheed, right? So, but that turned out to be a really good deal here for the Rams. Adams has been hugely productive as the second option to Puka. I can't make a strong call. Do you have a strong feel on this one or no?
Yeah, I mean, I on the total, I really think it goes over.
You like it just seems like an over. I've got the number, like I said, I'm right at where the number is, but just kind of to me, the feel of it seems like this game should go over. I like both of these offenses as well as the defense.
This is the most important game of the season thus far.
Yeah, it just always seems like these type of games. I think the focus here is offensively. I just like this game to go over. I think both teams want to throw it. I think both teams can throw it, and it will be successful throwing the ball, which I think kind of leads to a bit of an over, but not maybe as strong an opinion as you have on it. All right, I think the other big game here that we've got this week over in the AFC West, you've got the Broncos hosting the Chiefs. Broncos going to be a home dog here, 3.5 points, -108, 44.5, -108 on the total. What do you think? I mean, is it must-have? Chiefs must have this one?
Yeah. And I think they get it. The Broncos offense has looked really, really bad for a significant portion of the season. And Kansas City coming off the bye. I mean, I don't have the stats off the top of my head about Andy Reid, but everybody knows Andy Reid just murders after the bye. So I'm Chiefs and under. I think that the Chiefs just go in there and they fucking kill them.
I think the bet here is the under. I think that's the way to go. It's kind of been the way most of these Bronco games have gone. I still like this. I still like the Chief defense against a Bronco team that just offensively they've looked abysmal at for a lot of their games. I mean, it's amazing that the record that they have. They've just been able to.
And the Broncos' entire team strength is in defending the pass, and I think I would rather have Mahomes than the Broncos' defense. Let's put it that way.
They get an unbelievable pass rush,
right? But I think Mahomes of anybody can figure.
Yeah,
it out.
Exactly. I mean, that's Mahomes' game. And coming off the bye, I agree with you. I think Andy Reid will kind of scheme him up here, and I'll give him a slight advantage. But I think the under is really the way to go in this matchup. I don't see much in the way of weather helping us out. But I mean, I put this line up at as far as the total closer to 40. So I think we're getting a bit of value as far as I'm concerned here to the under. I think that's the strongest play. Last game of the 4:00 window, Browns hosting the Ravens. This is another home dog. Got a few of them here this week. 7.5 points. The Browns will be getting -115 at DraftKings. Over 39.5, -108. What do you think on Browns and Ravens?
The first game between these two teams was closer than it looked. I do think that the Browns will be able to get to the quarterback. I don't foresee this being a particularly high-scoring game, so I like under 40, despite the Ravens' defensive issues, just because the Browns' offense is not good. But I do think that we get a really, really low-scoring game, and so that would also favor Cleveland getting the 7.5.
Yeah, the Raven defense seems to have been playing a little bit
better.
They're not quite Cincinnati or Dallas right now. But yeah, I would say on this one, I've got the I would take Baltimore in the game. I just think with Lamar here, I'm leaning Baltimore. I don't love the game. I'm leaning Baltimore. I think it's a tricky one for me to kind of still figure out. I think as far as the numbers, I've got it close to that 7.5. Kind of factoring in those games that Lamar missed into the math here. So I've got it pretty close to the line that they're at. I think the harder part for me is trying to figure out this total. I've got it at 40, which is kind of close to where the market is, 40.5. So I just feel like the Ravens, though, right now, I feel like they're trending in more of that defense is trending in the right direction with an offense in Cleveland that I just don't have any confidence in Cleveland scoring on anybody, really. So I think I'll say all of that to say I don't have too strong a conviction either side of this game. I mean, if I had to, I'd probably take this one to the over, but it just doesn't feel right taking overs in Cleveland games right now. I mean, if you watch that quarterback, it's not good. It's amazing I haven't heard more Sanders talk.
Yeah, why aren't they putting in Sanders?
I haven't heard any. Not that I think he's going to do anything, but man, it's like with all the talk before the season, I really haven't heard much going on. I try not to follow too much of the nonsense on like the ESPNs of the world, but
I got to think he's better than Gabriel.
Can't be worse.
He has a noodle arm, dude. Gabriel can't throw the ball down the field.
Yeah, it's terrible. I would definitely give Sanders a shot at some point here. Obviously, it won't be this week, but I wouldn't mind seeing what he could do.
He can at least throw it down the field.
Yes. Yeah. No. It's the Browns have just never. They just can't figure quarterback out. They never have. It's been a long, long time for the Browns. And
put in Deshaun Watson.
They're paying him. You talk about guys.
Do you think he starts for the Browns next year?
No, I think that's done. He's getting, what's he getting? He's still getting paid like $40 million or something like that against the cap.
He got 5 for $250 fully guaranteed, so he's getting paid $50 million.
Yeah, I think 40-50 million against
2 more years, right? 2 more years or 1 more year?
I don't know if it's 2. I have to look. I just looked at a lot of these quarterback numbers, but how are you supposed to win when you don't like? you would have to, because the Broncos are in a similar situation. I mean, they're still paying Russell Wilson. He's against their cap, but they're getting decent quarterback play
Right.
from a rookie salary, right? So he's doing well enough to kind of make up for that. That's the only way you could do it. Because like I was talking about, you've got that window. Caleb Williams now, the Bears are kind of hoping that window is there. They've got the quarterback. Either you've got a quarterback that gives you a sweetheart deal, or you've got a quarterback on a rookie contract. Drake May, right now.
Right. Well, the sweetheart deal type scenario is Daniel Jones in Indy right now, which they'll have to pay him after the season, or Darnold in Minnesota last year.
Right. You've got to get that. You've got to get that situation, and then put them into a team that's got weapons, right? And the Colts had weapons. Look, the Colts were a good team, I thought, with Richardson. Like I thought, I was hoping.
I had them to win the division with Richardson.
Yeah, I just thought, I was hoping that he'd be just a little bit more accurate, throwing the ball. I like Richardson. I mean, he's a beast running it, that's for sure. But this is a similar. I don't want to. I mean, Daniel Jones is not Tom Brady, but it's a similar situation to what you saw with Tampa before Brady went there. I'm like, you could see that this team was pretty good.
Yeah.
They just needed a quarterback who was going to not turn the ball over as much. And obviously Daniel Jones has done a good job there with the Colts. All right, let's head to prime time. Eagles are hosting the Lions here, -2.5, -118, 46.5, -115. Eagles coming off what was, that was an awful Monday Night Football game. And I thought some questionable calls. Did you like that end of the game?
I fell asleep.
The end of the game going for it there with like 30, whatever it was. They basically gave the Packers a shot to a legitimate shot to at least tie the game. Kicker just didn't have enough leg there, but they went for the fourth down instead of punting it, and almost cost them the game, or at least cost them a chance to go to overtime. But and there was some other questionable. The end of the half, I'm trying to think now off the top of my head. I thought was some odd plays in that game, but coaching decisions. But Eagles are 2.5-point favorites. Two teams going into the year, certainly two of the favorites to win the NFC. Two teams that have struggled at different points in the season. 2.5, 46.5. You're laying some juice there with the 2.5 with the Eagles, -118, -115 if you like the over 46.5. Which way are we going? Prime time.
The Lions did look different with Dan Campbell calling the plays last week. I also don't think that it was I don't think it was an accident that they had him initially start calling the plays against the Commanders the week before the Eagles game, to kind of get a practice run. But it's strength for strength to me. The Lions run game against the Eagles run defense. I have a lot of faith in the Eagles defensive line to stop the run. So I don't think this is going to be a particularly high scoring game. I don't think that the Lions are going to be able to really enforce their will through the run game like they usually do on most teams. So I do like the Eagles and the under.
Yeah, this Eagle team just drives me crazy. I mean, you just look at them from every angle. You just can't understand how they win these games when you look at the numbers. But the one thing they've done well, a stat that I like to look at, is that passer rating differential. So you talk about stopping the run game, but they've been really good. They've got good passer rating on both offense and defense. And I believe it's number one in the league.
They've got good defensive backs.
They do. It's the offense that I'm always questioning.
Barkley's cooked. He's not the same guy.
I mean, that's typical with running backs, but I don't know if it's all him. Do you think he looks like he lost a step? I don't know. If
yes, I think he looks like he lost a step.
I don't know.
480 touches at.
Listen, that's the
only running backs in history that have been able to withstand those kinds of touches are CMC and Adrian Peterson,
Derrick Henry,
and Henry.
Yeah,
but other than those three, they all break down.
CMC when he comes back, it's just as good.
CMC, it makes no sense.
But he's a little guy, but he gets hurt a lot. But he comes back just as good.
He comes back and he's just as fast, right?
No, he's unique for sure. But I don't understand why these guys. Whenever you see like they're not like we're going to split the running backs, which is almost all these teams are like 60-40 splits of running back. I'm like, if you draft a running back, just pound them until you can't use them anymore and then get rid of them. Like, like a Genti or whoever these guys like. Why
Well, unless you're the Lions where you run so much,
right?
that you kind of need 2 running backs.
I don't know. I would just pound these guys as much as possible, and then you get rid. Yeah,
you would.
and then you get rid. I mean, look,
I gave you a chance. The first time you said it, I didn't say anything, and then you just went right back.
Well, I didn't even hear it the first time. The second time I said it, I heard it before I said it, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'm saying it. But I mean, you look at the New England model for years, the Pittsburgh model for years. Like these guys are just interchangeable. Just abuse them and get and just bring in a new running back. I don't see the like. Oh, we're gonna lighten the load on these guys. I guess nothing I say in this realm is not going to sound bad after you just put that in my head. So we'll move on. I don't particularly love the game. The numbers really tell me the Lions should be the play here. Worry about Goff on the road at night in Philly. So because I would have had this as a Detroit favorite in this game. I think Detroit's the better team. But man, the Eagles just seem week in, week out. They just seemingly find a way. So I don't love the game. I'll put a slight lean here to Detroit for me. And on the total,
we might be there.
What's up?
We might be there.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll make the trip down the turnpike and head over there. But 46.5 on that total looks just about exact to what I've got it.
And we get to my favorite game of the week.
This is a great game. Dallas on the road in Vegas. Should be some Cowboy fans there.
just
in
Vegas.
Just a couple. Vegas has now become it's a 50-50 every game. Vegas, one of the great home teams, one of the great travel teams. Now you play in Vegas, and it's all about the road teams.
The teams could both suck ass, and this shit's packed.
Absolutely. Now they were putting a lot of weight into Vegas being a much better team. The fact that on November the 17th, they thought. Now we know the Cowboys are always going to be a little overhyped. So then they're like, all right, Dallas will be good. But we think the Raiders, this is going to be a really good matchup. We're going to go Dallas, Vegas.
Well, it might be the 2 most popular teams. It's like they're up there.
Oh, I mean, when Dallas is good, I mean, the ratings were always really good. And of course, if the Raiders were playing well, this would have been
Dallas and the Raiders was always going to be a primetime game, no matter what week it was in.
They rolled the dice, and it came up snake eyes here. So plus 3.5 though. Vegas getting points at home, 50.5 on this total. Both are minus 110 at DraftKings. What do you think with Dallas and Vegas?
Vegas has actually looked pretty spry since Brock Bowers came back. You know, both of those games that they lost were close. I know Bowers didn't do a whole lot last week, but I think the timing lines up correctly with that. How are they going to block Crosby? The Dallas, dude, Dak's going to get killed back there. I have a lot more faith in the Vegas defense than I do the Dallas defense. Not that Geno's any good, but dude, Brock might go for 150-2 again. So yeah, when it's 3.5 at home and I give me the Raiders all day here.
Man, I grew up with there was two things every gambler did bet when I was a kid. It was home dogs on Monday night and Raiders on Monday night. That was like the biggest. Those were the biggest angles in the 80s. It was like never bet, because like the 70s Raiders, I guess, were you just never bet against the Raiders on Monday night. And here we go, 2025. We've got Raiders are the home dog on Monday night. I'm going to agree with you here. I think just the Bowers addition here just kind of puts them over the edge. I don't think Dallas can stop anybody. I mean, that's not saying much. They haven't stopped anybody. I don't think they'll stop the Raiders either. So, but Dallas will get their points. I've got this one right my numbers have it at 50.5. So I think the total's right, but I would lean here to the over. I think we'll get a lot of points. It actually should be a more fun game than we saw that 10-7 game last week.
This game is going to be great. Like, I'm not kidding that I'm going to love watching this.
The Dallas games have been fun. It'll be a great DFS showdown game for sure. Yeah. So I think this will be a good game. I like the over as well. I think give me the points, the 3.5. I just don't think Dallas deserves to be a 3.5-point favorite on the road with a defense that obviously it doesn't play well at home, doesn't travel well either. So I'll take the dog and the over.
I'll give you one here, which I've bet on them every single week the entire season. Kennesaw State -3 at Jacksonville State at 8:00 on Saturday night.
I wish I had my
is the college play of the week.
I'm literally going to do the NBA props as soon as we get off this show. I wish I had them ready for you guys. They've been on fire.
Yeah.
I think I didn't look at last night's exact total, but they crushed it again last night.
You ready to do a pick six?
Update my sheet. Yeah, we do have to do the pick six. So we will look. We'll look to those numbers as well. Do you have your DK pick six up?
Yeah. You want to just do it for tonight's game?
Oh, we can do that. Yeah. Let me.
Well, actually, I'm doing that on the show.
All right. So let's leave. How about we just leave tonight's game out then?
Yeah, I am.
We'll do everything but tonight's game.
Jesus Christ. JSN's receiving prop is 101.5. That's crazy. All right. Share screen. All right. Pick six. Presented by DraftKings.com. DKNG.co/RPS. All right. I'm going to passing yards. And taking Josh Allen over 224.5.
Allen over 224.5?
Yep.
All right, let's go to the Kansas City game. RJ Harvey, his rushing and receiving yardage. Let's take that to the under 76.5.
I've talked so much fucking shit about RJ Harvey.
Oh, you like him over?
No, no, I hate him.
Oh, okay, good. So we're
yeah. Let's get an early one for the people here. Go with. Oh man, look at that shit. Achan is a 0.7 on the 4.5 receptions. I'll go with Tua to get 2 passing touchdowns. I think that is happening.
This looks like a lot. This could be. You think it's a big number? Flacco's 40.5 pass attempts. I guess maybe if we like that game to go over, yeah, let's not take that one. I'm just trying to think out loud here. I'll give you one to the over. Let's go Tet McMillan's receiving yardage over 54.5.
Teteroa McMillan over 54.5. All right. Let's go to the Chicago game. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Caleb Williams over 229.5.
Caleb. All right. And I'm gonna go back to that Carolina game with Kyle Pitts. I want his under receiving yardage 48.5. I like how Carolina's playing against wide receivers and the passing game in general. I know he's not a wide receiver, but he might as well be.
All right. That is Josh Allen over 224.5 passing yards. RJ Harvey to suck. Tua Tagovailoa over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Teteroa McMillan over 54.5 receiving yards. Caleb Williams over 229.5 passing yards. Kyle Pitts Sr. under 48.5 receiving yards. 100 wins you at least about $2,000. And picks have been submitted. I will post that on the Twitter machine. Any final comments, John?
No, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna dig deep into some NBA props and some NFL props as well, and we'll see you all at our normal time next week. Hopefully, we're both still alive. You never know on these trips, so hopefully we make it back in one piece. And we'll see you all next week. Thanks for joining us at a earlier time and date. See ya.